Hello again to Facebook and YouTube. I thought I was live, but I wasn't yet on the StreamYard on my YouTube and Facebook pages here. Hi, welcome to my show. I'm Marina Shepelsky, U.S. immigration lawyer and commentator. We've been doing this for years, so welcome every Wednesday at 11 a.m. If I'm around, if I'm not on vacation, I'm here with you guys. This is the place to be. And people on Instagram, it's 11 in the morning in New Jersey. Where are you and what time is it where you are? I'm in New Jersey. Our office, our immigration legal team is in New York, but I work from home on Wednesdays and I'm in New Jersey. So that's where I'm at. Tennessee for Aladam Souk. Hi. Hi from Samir. Hello from Aladam Souk. Or Allah Adamsuk or Adamchik. Hello, the Russian way of pronouncing it. Serena says she's in New York. Oh my God, love New York. That's where our office is. This is where I grew up. I'm an immigrant like you. I'm also an immigrant. Hello from Wisconsin, from Jason. And hello from Vivek, who watches us also pretty frequently, right, Vivek? Right below comments if I'm right. If you see commented below, and I'm very grateful. I cut my bangs, and they look ridiculous. I didn't have time to do my hair today, but it is what it is, guys. We have to do our best. I was in a rush to see you guys this morning. Um, my last week here before vacation, I'm going on vacation to Dubai, beautiful Dubai. If you're watching me from Dubai or UAE, drop a comment. What kind of weather to expect next week in late January in Dubai? Vivek is from Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you. Welcome. Joyce is watching from Oklahoma. Instagram is saying hello. Hi, friends. Hello, hello. Let's look at you need a visa. Does US citizen need a visa to go to Dubai, right? I don't know. I'm going next week, and US citizens with a valid passport do not need a visa to visit Dubai for less than 30 days. I'm going for only a week, so they will get me a visa. All you need is a valid passport, and that's all you need. And United Arab Emirates welcomes US. All you need is 6 months valid passport and no visa for under 30 days. Amazing. So I will see Dubai next week. Amazing. All right, let's get into our immigration news in US. I digress. I got distracted by my plan to go to Dubai. So let's see US immigration news as of this morning. I didn't check yet, but basically we are starting to see early indications of what Trump presidency is going to be like. But before we get there, Department of Homeland Security announced in a rush that they are renewing TPS for only two countries. Three countries. Ukraine, Sudan, and Venezuela. So those three countries getting extension of TPS. Nothing was said about Haiti and the other countries on the list. And if everything goes well and they publish in the Federal Register about this, it's a special publication for laws from Department of Homeland Security Regulations and Laws. Then everything is good and it looks like Sudan, Ukraine, and Venezuela will be okay. Hi from Torty. Hello. Hi. Vivek says, how you doing? I'm fine. How are you? Remy is in my state of New Jersey. That's where I'm at, Remy. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so that's the news about TPS. That was the biggest news this week. What else am I seeing? I am seeing that some people who have pending green card applications. approved pending pending T visa are starting to receive letters from ICE asking them to check in. And this didn't happen to me, but some of my colleagues, I'm in a lot of immigration groups for lawyers specifically, right? We are teaming up. All the immigration lawyers right now are on state of alert because of what's coming, right? The presidency by Trump, and we're sharing our information. So that's been shared, that people are starting to get letters. People who already have some kind of an approved status are still getting letters from ICE. That's never happened before, but now all of a sudden that's what we're seeing. If you've already told me where you're from, post another comment with your question. I will be answering questions here, mostly for like information and education, not intended, not intended to give any advice here, okay? I cannot give you legal advice in the show. I have a wonderful note from Samir on Instagram. Samir Patel says, I'm so happy with your service. I received finally. Oh, so he must be our client. I cannot admit nor deny. But he says he is my client and received his work permit, and his wife received the work permit in the C08 category, which means we probably file for asylum. Thank you so much. And my question is, how long will I have to wait for the interview for the 589? Now, Mr. Samir, and anybody else, right now people are waiting for 9 years for an interview, right? However, however, you have the right to waive the interview. So, for people who are filing for cancellation of removal and who want to move along and go in front of a judge, we wait for a little bit because we want to get the work permit that Samir just received. And then we write the letter to USCIS that Samir or somebody else like him wishes to waive their interview. They don't need this interview. They're writing a letter, a notarized letter, with all of the information saying, I know my right to an interview and I wish to waive this interview. Waive means I don't want it. Take it. I use it. Then what will happen? You will go straight to court and you don't have to wait 8 years. That's what I'm trying to say. For people who are sick of waiting, let me tell you, most people interviewed, 87 to 90% get denied anyway. So what's the point? So you have some options if you've been waiting a really long time for asylum. This is free information that other lawyers are not talking about it. Okay, number one, if you've been waiting over 5 years for asylum, you can file a writ of mandamus federal action. You file a mini lawsuit against USAID saying your job is to interview me in under 5 years. That's what's reasonable. I've been waiting more than 5 years or close to 5 years. Please schedule me for an interview. If you don't want to go through that and you know that your case is not the type of case that's going to get approved at the interview, for example, you filed after 1 year. Your plan is not for the asylum, but for cancellation of removal. You have another plan. You know you don't need that interview. You write them a letter with your lawyer saying, my name is so and so. This is my alien number. This is my case number for asylum, my I-589 receipt number. I wish to waive my interview. I don't need it. Don't schedule me for an interview. Send me straight to court. They will send you within a year. It's not immediate. But within 1 year, like 12 months or so, you will receive the next letter saying you waived the interview. Now you're going to immigration court. And that is good. That is what's going to move your case towards a decision. This is good to do for when you have cancellation or removal. Your kids are young. You want to do this when your kids are young for cancellation and removal. Your U.S. citizen children or your U.S. citizen parents. If you wait too long, they could die. God forbid. They're elderly. So in some cases, to expedite, we write a letter to skip the interview, and that's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with it. You're not doing anything illegal. It is your right. Just like, let's say you have a criminal case, you have a right to waive a trial, right? You could just plead guilty. People do that all the time. So that's sort of what you're doing here, all right? Let me get into your questions now. Naresh Kumar on YouTube. I'm an H-1B visa holder currently and working for an employee. Got a bona fide determination notice for my U visa. That means he filed for U visa around 2 years ago, and it's pending already for around 2 years. How long to get the work permit now? Give it a few months. A few months, okay? Can I work with another employer using my new work permit and keep the H1? So, if you go to another employer, you will lose your H1 unless, so to successfully keep your H1, if that's what your question is, how to keep your H1, your new employer has to file to transfer the H1 visa to themselves. Because the new work permit that you got, the EAD, or that you will get, is not related to your H1 visa. It's related to the U visa. So if you're not if you're not working for the employer who filed for you, and you go to another employer without transferring your visa over, you're out of status, right? So if you want to stay in the H1 visa, your new employer has to file and show, by the way, that you are getting the same salary, the same position, or approximately the same position, and transfer the visa over. It doesn't take too long. You can even pay for expediting. And then you'll keep your H1 and still wait for the U visa, and you'll never be out of status, okay? Um, Good morning from New Jersey, from Miami. Thank you again. 40 says, please, I applied for VAWA since March 2022. How long do you think I will be getting decision? Right now, it's almost 4 years, so like 3.5 years from when you filed. You filed in March 2022. Expect an answer by the end of this year, hopefully. 2025, you should get a decision. They might also send a request for evidence. We'll see. Christian says, good morning, Marina. What's the process of applying for citizenship with VAWA? If your abuser was a spouse, right? Then if your abuser was a spouse and a citizen, after you have your VAWA-based green card, in 3 years, you apply for U.S. citizenship. If your abuser wasn't a spouse, they could have been a child over 21, but it looks like you're very young. I don't think you have a child over 21. So then it sounds like your abuser was your spouse. If they were a citizen, 3 years, file for your naturalization citizenship. Great People says, how long can we extend the work visa in US for? Can you give us information on this? If you have the H-1B, you usually get it for up to 6 years. It cannot be extended beyond the 6 years. Joy says, do you have to pay a fee, a USAS fee for when filing VAWA? No, VAWA itself is free. And now there's been a change in law that even the green card application based on VAWA is free. Kamush says, good morning, my favorite lawyer. You are a great lawyer. Thank you so much, Kamush. Thank you. Let's go to Instagram. VerSM says, can you please explain the time frame for the EB3 process and the I-130? I'm waiting from overseas. PERM process explained. Here we go. Step 1 in PERM, we do an application for your wage determination. In other words, Department of Labor here has to approve how much salary, how much is your annual compensation going to be, what is the position, and the level of expertise or experience. Okay, once that's obtained, we file a certification application. That's the PERM application. And that has everything, the name of the company, the wage determination, everything in the Department of Labor. It takes about 1 year to get that approved. Okay, so altogether, this Department of Labor, step 1 and 2, take about 1 year and 3 months. Then we move on to the next stage. If you were approved, then you do a recruiting report. I'm sorry, I missed the recruiting report. After the wage determination, then you do the recruiting that takes 2-3 months. Then you do the 1 year perm. So there's a step in between. Altogether, this is about 1.5 years, okay? Under 2 years for recruiting, Department of Labor, all that. At that point, we filed the I-140 petition. That is the immigration petition. So we're done with the Department of Labor. We're done with recruiting, hiring, all that. We're done with the recruitment report. We move on to immigration. We file the I-140 form, 140 form. From that date, if everything is good and your I-140 petition is approved, it takes about 2 years to get to the point where the visa is going to be available to you and they will interview you. So altogether, this now takes around 4 to 5 years from the beginning of the process when you're just starting with PERM to getting the visa interview in your country. Car Direct Realtor says compliment of the season. Thank you very much. Thank you. Eon 2695 says, I passed the bar exam in New York. Can I now move to Miami or Chicago and be an attorney, live there and practice federal law and work with all the states? Eon, yes. Once you get admitted in New York, you can practice U.S. immigration law. I'm pretty sure you can work with IRS, meaning the federal tax stuff, and probably even bankruptcy. But definitely immigration law, you can live anywhere and practice only immigration law. And usually what people do is they hook up with a local attorney, like a local admitted attorney. Like if you're in Miami, you should partner up with a Miami admitted attorney or Florida admitted attorney, and you can, help him or her and work with them. But for anything that has to be signed and go to court and do local court arguments like divorces, arrests, criminal stuff like that, your partner will go. All the immigration stuff you will cover. Okay, Jazzy Khan on YouTube asks, notice of intent to take off court calendar. Now my VAWA is approved. USCIS is asking for a medical. What to do thing? I would write to the court with a motion to terminate, not just take off the court calendar. That's usually admin closure. I would write a motion to terminate your court case, give your medical to USCIS. Hopefully, the court will terminate quickly, and USCIS can approve you for a green card. Struggling Life says, my removal order was terminated by immigration judge, and my I-485 is pending now based on VAWA. Now I got advance parole. Can I travel out of U.S. to my home country? If your immigration deportation case, if your deportation removal case was terminated, completely terminated, you have a court order and you have your advance parole. By the way, when they gave you the advance parole, they probably already checked and they confirmed you are safe to go to your home country. Okay. If filing for VAWA, says Joyce, you have to pay the I-485 fee. Right now, no, but you might have to pay. You have to double check the work permit fee. That might not be waived. Great People says, how long can we extend the work visa for? 3 years and 3 more, up to 6 years total. From the beginning to the last day is 6 years. Joyce says, after applying for VAWA, how long does it take to get a work permit? About 1 year. About 1 year. Or is the work permit granted after VAWA is approved? So, okay, when you file for VAWA, if you file your I-485, the work permit based on the I-485, based on the green card application, takes a year. Hopefully that's what you're doing because you were asking me about it. If you're just filing VAWA alone, some people, Joyce, not you, because you mentioned already you're planning to file the I-485. Some people cannot file the I-485. They were already deported, so the only thing they can file is VAWA alone. Then you only get the work permit when VAWA is approved. Okay? You'll get the work permit that has the code on it, C31, and that will take around 4 years. Okay? Do you need the medical for VAWA? You need the medical not for VAWA, for your green card application that gets attached to the VAWA in your case. Is it safe to travel on the combo card? Very commonly asked question right now. Yes, it is safe to travel. I haven't heard anything otherwise yet. You went and he says he traveled last year, everything was fine. It's going to be fine just now as well. Okay, just like last year, it is absolutely safe to travel right now with your card. Joyce says, thank you. Miss Joyce, it sounds like you have a lot of questions that maybe you don't have a lawyer for. For VAWA and green card, I highly recommend you speak to a specialist, somebody who knows what they're doing. We concentrate, we do this work in VAWA all the time. You can ask other people who watch me every week here. So please give us a call. Let's help you file this VAWA. Don't do this alone, Joyce. Don't do it, okay? Jason says, I had to fail to appear for asylum. I could not go due to domestic violence, which my spouse, I guess, did, and he pled guilty. I requested VAWA, got prima facie, but I have a pending appeal with the BIA. Am I going to get deported? Uh, if you have an order of removal because you had a court hearing, you did not go to the court hearing due to the domestic violence from your VAWA abuser spouse. You are waiting for the appeal. Are you going to get deported? Hopefully not, because you do have VAWA and you have an appeal pending. So hopefully not. Should you apply for work permit online? It depends. If you're filing for VAWA and the green card on paper, you should file on paper. Kamush says, how long does the VAWA case take? About 4 years right now, almost 4 years. Easy says, it's been 65 days since I submitted my request for evidence reply regarding my asylum-based green card. Can you please provide an update of the status of decision? It's hard to say. It depends on what stage of this green card process you were requested. Like if you're early, like if you just filed 2 months ago and they asked for something basic like a medical, then you still have to wait another 2, 3 years. If it's been already 2 or 3 years and they ask for medical or something small like that, then only a few weeks, maybe 2 months. Oh, Easy says it was medical. Okay, so it depends if they're asking for your medical early, you just filed for your asylum-based green card, or later in the process. If it's later, you don't have to wait that long. But if it's early in the process, you just recently filed, you might have to wait another 2.5 years. I'm sorry, MD Salmon says, hi, my asylum case was dismissed in 2022. My mom now became a US citizen and filed an I-130 for me in the category of her married son in 2024. I have no criminal record. Am I safe under the new administration? No, you're not. Your mother's petition will probably take like 15 years. I'm going to be honest with you. Let me see. I'm going to show you how long that takes. Okay, current visa, and I will share this information on my YouTube and Facebook page. Here we go. Okay, so I'm showing you now what is the visa bulletin for January. We're going to scroll very quickly to the second chart where you are, and we're going to show you that F3 is the married sons and daughters of U.S. citizens. F3 is your category, the third category. The third F is for family. Third family category. They're looking at July 2020. 12. I'm sorry, the 22nd of July 2012. We're in 2025. Your mom filed for you 2024. So about like 11 years left, 12 years left. So that does not give you any kind of status or protection, right? While you're waiting. You are completely illegal right now, completely undocumented, and you should immediately file something. You could file for asylum again or another type of case, but you're absolutely eligible for deportation under Trump. Not in a good way eligible, but you know what I mean. You're very vulnerable to being deported under Trump. K with one Than Dina Karan. If my L1 petition is filed on January 17, will it be challenging from India and established? It's not going to change much for the L1s. I think it's not going to be any different because that's your question. Is it going to be more challenging now because of when it's getting filed? The requirements are still the requirements. It has to be legitimate that the U.S. company that you're going to be working for when you get the visa is a branch or daughter company or like a partner company within the framework of your company in India. So that's what you have to prove. Mangomania says, can I expedite my RTD I-131 if I need refugee travel document? If I need to travel to Turkey for teeth treatment? If you get a medical letter from a doctor in Turkey that this is an emergency, you've sent them your test and they need to see you on an emergency basis, maybe they'll expedite it. But really expediting of the travel document is usually meant for when you have a family member who's really sick or a funeral, something horrible in that. Somebody's died. The gorilla says, how long does it take for background check to process with USAS FBI when applying for a visa? It depends. It could be a few weeks or a few months. Joy says, I'm going to call your office. Thank you so much. Jason says, oh my God, you're so smart. I thank you for answering my question. If I knew about you before, I would hire you. Thanks again. Thank you. And by the way, I'm not the only smart one. We have a wonderful, wonderful team. Besides me, we have 3 other lawyers in the office, and we're looking to hire another one. But it is hard because we are looking for somebody who is smart, wants to talk to clients, loves immigrants, and is very detail oriented on time and so on. And P333 says, how long after receiving my prima facie for VAWA will I receive my work permit? It depends from the date you filed your application. If you filed for the work permit based on a green card application, I-485. In other words, if you're waiting for the work permit EAD with the C09 on it, about a year from filing. From when you filed the case, about 1 year. If you filed only the VAWA petition by itself, you will not get the work permit until it's the full time and it's approved. The VAWA is approved. And that might take like 3.5, 4 years right now. Thank you from EZ. Michael says, I have an arrest case 2 years. The case was dismissed. Okay. Is it going to be a problem for your immigration case? As long as you're honest about it, it should not be. K. Visvanthan Dinakaran says, can they make any changes to the L2B work permit under regulation? It's possible, but I don't expect it. It is possible that they'll make changes, but the chances are low. I don't think it's going to happen. Or says, if you currently have a work permit for a U visa that will expire. By the way, Odian, we have somebody here watching who got the bonafied approval and wants to know from the time you filed for U visa, how long did it take to get the work permit, the EA? Please post another comment. But I'm going to answer your question while you do it. If I currently have the work permit U visa that will expire in 2027, and I also have pending asylum case, am I safe from the incoming government? Yes, you are. Sam says, hello, my friend. Hello, my friend had an asylum withholding of removal 10 plus years ago. It has not left the U.S. since. How safe are they and can they apply for a green card? If your friend had asylum approved, right? Approved, then he can file for a green card. Yes, it's not too late. Yes. And no worries about the typo. I see typos all the time and I make typos all the time. This is the time and the age we live in. Fast typing. Johan says, thank you so much. You're always so professional. Thank you. And there, as Sam says, what immigration law school you would recommend? There is no immigration law school. You go to any law school and you take classes in law school about immigration and you sign up for an immigration clinic in the law school. A clinic is where they take a real practicing attorney, they put them in charge of law students, and they take on cases for immigration clients, and the lawyer teaches you as you're helping the clients, the immigrants, about immigration law. So you're learning immigration. You don't learn immigration law so much in class or in law school. You learn it through practice, and you begin with a clinic. If you get a chance, get into an immigration clinic or go volunteer in like one of those Catholic charities or those types of organizations where they let law students help people under supervision of admitted attorneys. Thank you. Thank you. You are the best from Roseanne, gratefully. Thank you. Okay. Hold on. For the person who was asking me about the work permit, hold on. I'll find it. Oh, here. Naresh Kumar. This one goes out to you, Naresh Kumar. You asked about the U visa, how long it takes to get the work permit. Mr. Odion Ogbedi answers your question. He filed U visa in September 2018, and he's got his work permit in September of 2023. So about 5 years. That sounds right. But Mr. Naresh, right, Kumar, has been waiting already, and he just got his bonafied. Since you filed Audion, the process has changed. They have now created this whole thing with the bona fide exemption or approval, bona fide approval. It's sort of like what VAWA gets, but similar. And now they don't have to wait as long as you did. Maybe it will be less. Okay, Naresh, don't get scared. Since you got your bona fide determination, I think that it will take you another 6 months or so to get the work permit. Comment in my next show to let me know if you got it or not yet. I'm going to be wrapping up the show. Thank you guys for asking your questions. Thank you for listening. I will see you not next week, because next week I will be in Dubai. I will see you on the 29th, when we will have a whole week of Trump already, and we will have lots to talk about. So I'll see you in 2 weeks, everyone. 2 weeks. Have a great, great week. And then another week. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye bye. Take care. 2 weeks.